Hey everyone, this is Salman from nlux, and in this video I'm going to walk you through some of the main features in the project. We are going to start on our GitHub repository, and here I'll show you the nlux CLI. So it's a very handy command line tool to create starter applications using Next.js, React, or Vanilla TypeScript. And if you are in our GitHub repository, please start it to show your support. We go back to the documentation website, and in the example section, I'll show you the custom renderers. So with this feature, you can use React components to render the AI response, and you can customize them in whatever way you want. For example, here we are customizing the background, and we are adding a bar at the bottom. You also have an example that shows you how it's done, and it's actually a live editable example, so you can change it and see the answer immediately. The next feature that I'm going to show you is React server component. So this is done through the use as RSC adapter. And what it does, it allows you to use React server components as AI responses. So when it's used with Next.js, it can be very handy to implement features such as generative UI. You have a code example here in the example section. And when you go on the nlux homepage and you go to generative UI with Next.js, you can see how it's actually working. For example, we can click to generate a sales chart overview. So this diagram is generated on the backend and the interaction is handled by nlux. Next, we'll go back to the example section and I'll show you the Markdown streaming. So all the content received from the AI by default is considered Markdown, and nlux implements a very optimized Markdown renderer. So as you can see, the Markdown is rendered as it's being streamed from the server, and it's rendered in a very optimal way. You can override this by using custom response renderers, where you can use your own Markdown renderer, but by default, the Markdown renderer at nlux is also very performant. Next, I'm going to show you a very useful feature, which is the API and events. So nlux is meant to integrate within your application, and you can do this very easily using the API and events. For example, you can call methods from nlux to interact with the library. For example, here we are calling send, and it will automatically send a message in the conversation. You can also listen to events. For example, here we are listening to messages received from the server, and we can, for example, reset the conversation. You can check the reference for all the possible events and API methods available. After that, I'll show you the UI override. So this is a very handy feature where you can override certain parts of the nlux library. For example, here we are overriding the loader, and you can also override different sections, so you can check the reference for all the overrides that are possible. And finally, I'll show you how to edit messages that are previously sent in the conversation. For example, we'll start by adding a new message like, tell me a funny joke. And then if you would like to edit messages in the conversation, we can enable this using the editable user messages option. And when we click on messages in the history, we can actually change them. For example, here, we will put secret, and when we submit, the conversation will be overridden from that specific message with the new generated content. So those are some of the main features in nlux. I hope that you like them. It's full of features and it's heavily tested, and it's very well documented, as you see. Please have a look and let us know what you think. If you have any feature requests, or if you have any feedback, please let us know. Thank you very much.